A major shakeup for sponsors. The administration has quietly reignited a rule that most Americans never took seriously. This time it's different and far more aggressive. Here's what's happening. Sponsors are now being tracked and audited for compliance. The government can sue you if your relative uses public benefits. A repayment demands can reach thousands of dollars per case. For years, the Affidavit of Support, Form I-864, was treated like a formality. Now, it's being treated like a binding financial contract with real consequences. If you've sponsored a spouse, parent, or child, your financial responsibility doesn't end when they get their green card. It may only be beginning. The Affidavit of Support, now enforced. This document is the foundation of every family-based immigration case. By signing it, the sponsor makes a legal promise to the U.S. government to ensure that the immigrant will not rely on public assistance. For decades, that rule was written but rarely applied. Most people signed and forgot about it. But in 2025, enforcement is back, and this time it has real muscle. What's new? Dedicated USCIS enforcement teams are reviewing benefit use. State agencies are now sharing data with immigration authorities. Sponsors who fail to uphold their pledge can face collection or legal action. This new wave of enforcement means the government will actively recover taxpayer money directly from sponsors. What changed in 2025? The wording of the law hasn't changed, but its application has. What was once symbolic paperwork has now become a serious liability. Immigration Services has publicly announced on official social media. If a sponsored green card holder receives restricted benefits, the sponsor must pay that money back. This isn't a vague warning. Officials confirm they now have the systems, staff, and authority to track these cases nationwide. For many families, this is a wake-up call. What once felt like a harmless signature could soon become a legal headache. Which benefits trigger liability? Let's break this down clearly. Certain restricted benefits will now make sponsors financially responsible. These include Supplemental Security Income, SSI, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, TNF, State or local cash assistance programs, a long-term government-funded care, such as nursing homes. And in some states, even unemployment benefits may be counted, depending on eligibility laws. The reason is simple. These programs provide direct cash or financial support. If an immigrant uses them, the government considers that the sponsor has failed to fulfill their promise. Benefits that are still safe to use. Not everything will get you in trouble. Some programs are still considered non-cash and are safe for now. These include Medicaid, except for long-term care, SNAP/food stamps, CHIP, Children's Health Insurance Program, school lunch and nutrition programs, federal student loans or grants, Section 8 housing assistance in certain cases. Using these will not trigger sponsor liability, but that doesn't mean sponsors should relax. Policy definitions can change quickly and quietly, especially under new directives or budget orders. Families should check official updates before using any public benefit program. How long does the sponsorship liability last? Here's a question thousands are asking right now. How long am I on the hook? Legally, a sponsor's financial responsibility ends only when the immigrant becomes a U.S. citizen. They earn 40 qualifying quarters, around 10 years of work. They permanently leave the United States. Until one of these conditions is met, sponsors remain liable. Even divorce or family disputes don't automatically end the contract. And under this new enforcement push, immigration agencies have made it clear they won't hesitate to pursue repayment. Real-world consequences. Let's look at a real scenario. A U.S. citizen sponsors their spouse. 3 years later, the spouse loses their job. Desperate, they apply for a state cash assistance program. Months later, the sponsor receives a notice of repayment, demanding reimbursement for the benefits paid. That's not theoretical. That's already happened, and more cases are expected as enforcement ramps up. Imagine being forced to repay $6,000 or $10,000 years after your relative got their green card. That's what's at stake. Why this matters now. This isn't just a paperwork change. It's part of a larger political and social shift. The Trump administration is using financial accountability as a tool for immigration control. They argue it's about protecting taxpayers and ensuring personal responsibility. But critics say it's about deterrence, creating fear among immigrant families and making sponsorship feel risky. Either way, the message is clear. Sponsors are being put under the microscope. A wake-up call for all sponsors. For too long, many people treated the affidavit like a routine step in the immigration process. That era is over. Today, signing it means taking legal and financial responsibility, one that can stretch for a decade or longer. Here's what families must do right now. Communicate clearly with the relatives they sponsor. Stay informed about restricted and safe benefits. Plan ahead financially in case of job loss or emergencies. A single mistake, like applying for a restricted program out of confusion, can lead to major financial stress down the road. How to protect yourself. If you're planning to sponsor a family member, take these steps seriously. 1. Understand the contract. Form I-864 is legally enforceable under federal law. 2. Keep documentation. Track your financial support, employment status, and communication records. 3. Consult an immigration attorney. Before signing or withdrawing sponsorship, get professional advice. 4. Stay updated. Policy changes can redefine what restricted benefits mean overnight. Being informed today can save you thousands later. The bigger picture. This move fits into a broader enforcement wave: tighter vetting, increased deportations, and stricter benefit rules. Supporters call it fiscal responsibility. Opponents call it punishment for compassion. But for families caught in the middle, it's deeply personal. It means stress, uncertainty, and new risks that last long after the green card is approved. Final thoughts. This development isn't just about bureaucracy, it's about accountability and power. By enforcing these sponsorship rules, the government is sending a message. If you promise to support someone, you must stand by it financially. That might sound harsh, but it's the new reality. Immigration is changing. Old rules that sat quietly for years are now being revived with force. If you've sponsored a loved one or plan to, take this seriously. Read what you sign. Know what you're agreeing to, because that signature could carry weight for years to come. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon for future updates. Thanks for watching. This is BorderDrip USA, keeping you informed, alert, and one step ahead.